I thought this was a really smart piece because it's such a recognizable trope. The author who can't live up to the hype of his next book, the writer's block, and trying any method to try to get into that creative mindset, usually drinking. But what happens when life is more interesting, when life becomes the inspiration and you become entrenched in the work? I thought that was brilliant, and the way it unfolded and kind of crept into the story, and the visuals to highlight that for us. Overall, I thought this was a great piece, and makes me hope that if I am writing something, maybe I should write something fabulous and not scary so that can come true.
You really sense the depression of trying to get inspired for new ideas. The quiet chalet is also perfect for the film. I love the sound effects and lighting of the invader, which work well considering the story the author is attempting to write is also called The Invader 2. Great direction, lots of build up to the final scene.
It definitely does a good job of building its atmosphere while you don't see what the visitor is. Just from the audio alone, you can make a good guess. For me, it sounded very extraterrestrial, and the ending was also pretty. I definitely enjoyed the ending too, with that little brief jump scare moment where that face flashes right before it cuts to black. That was very interesting. And all in all, yeah, it does a very good job of just building that atmosphere and setting up the tone for a pretty tense short.
Okay, so we know from the eerie music, the choice of lighting, this the blinding bright light, that something is not as it should be from this opening scene. And we get the sense this person has been trying to write, maybe as writer's block, fell asleep at the typewriter. We all been there as writers. I like the use of light and the shakiness almost of the cam, to symbolize an unnatural presence being near. And there's just certain interesting aspects that I noticed in this. He's clearly hiding from something. We get this sense of the suspense, the what is it? And it's always, I think, more powerful when we don't actually see what's chasing. We just see the illusion of something chasing, especially in these short pieces, because it just gives us just enough to get the sense of something, and then it leads up to this ending scene. And things that were interesting was the visitor typing on the typewriter that draws him out of his hiding, so he's hearing something typing and seeing this message that he's has on the screen or the monitor or the typewriter or whatever. And then the ending moment with the use of the light in the ending scene, as like he's drawn him out now with something that would draw him out, and now we see this little flash of this um paranormal aspect right at the end, right before we leave, which leaves us with this very poignant final image to take away from. And I just think it made it so much stronger than seeing the alien chasing him, seeing all these other things. It's more so the illusion of it all is what makes us kind of jump in our seats, because it leads us up to his imagination what he's actually looking at and what's happening on the other side.
Well, I like the setting of this story. The sci-fi author holed up in his chalet in a mountainous village covered with snow. He's struggling to write, and you wonder, is it in his mind? Is he hearing noises or not? Using the power of suggestion, I like the light beam coming through the window and how it's used to come through the door lock. The sound effects were complementing the suspense, I thought, and helping to build the tension. You wonder if this sci-fi author who's had success is writing fiction, or is it genuine experience that he's having?
Felt like a teaser for an actual film. So I really want to see this as a feature. From the opening, it had a really good cinematic feel to it. So I loved the cinematography, the camera work, the close-ups. Really, the close-ups, the sounds, all kind of set the tone. I love the location. That also was, very much a part of setting the tone for this. It felt remote and cold, kind of like it had a retro feel to it for me, like an 80s horror movie, like The Thing, Alien. It just set us up for what's going to happen to this guy? Is there an alien coming down? It's called The Visitor. He's a writer. Is he dreaming this because he drank so much and passed out? Like, what's going on? So I really wanted to see more. I don't even think there was no dialogue. I just realized that. So, and the performer did great, being able to carry this.
I really like the color and the grade in the shot, and I think that it sets up sort of like a previous era, if you will, like a time past, which was pretty cool. And it seems like the sort of early 2000s or the late 90s, maybe. It sort of reminded me of Close Encounters of a Third Kind, at least the initial interaction that happens. So I like that connection.